Hey everybody, DeLongshot Signatures here. Got another card binder to show you guys. This is one of my largest binders, especially in racing. This is all NASCAR DonRuss set only. So they started the DonRuss set in 2017, back when Panini acquired the NASCAR licensing in 2016. They only had 4 sets that first year. Next year they expanded, and this has kind of become I'm not sure if it's a flagship set by any means, but it's definitely one of their largest sets, and it's been one of the best for TTM collectors, just because of the sheer number of names and number of cards that are included. So I think this set in total, if you include all the nickname variations, comes out to 200, and that's pretty much been the standard for every other year that they've had, unless I'm mistaken. The only cards that I don't have in this binder right now, which I need to go through and reorganize, are these 2 Austin Dillons that I got back recently, but I already have these cards signed, either got them in person or through later mailings, and then a couple of Optic Cards, which they have started doing in recent years, just kind of a chrome set of it. Those usually only go to 100. But this binder, probably more than any other, has more cards that were signed in person than just through the mail. And I don't think I have any that I've purchased in this. But I remember with the 2017 DonRuss set, it was a pain to get any of the following cards: the Race Kings, the Rookies, and the Retro cards. Those were really difficult to pull out of packs. So the price for these almost insert cards, but they're part of the base set, are generally a lot higher than any other card you'll find in the DonRuss set for any of the other years. But I did purchase some more of those. Those prices have gone down a little bit, but there are still some that I'm just not willing to pay that much for. Again, this one, probably the best one I have so far, maybe the second best, and I just love the design of it. It's so simple. I've seen so many other people get back signed cards from these drivers. The only one I'd like to get replaced is this Kane. It doesn't even look signed. He used the Sharpie that I handed him to sign it, and it did not come out well at all. You really have to look at it from like a certain angle and know what to look for. And there's just a couple of like little marks on it. I would love to get that replaced at some point. This has also been a set that I bought so many packs of that I have a bunch of extra cards, and as you can see, I've been able to get them signed through the mail or in person a bunch of times, and quite a bunch of extra cards to kind of hold on to. I did give some away this past Christmas to a couple other collectors, and at some point I'll look to maybe trade some out or maybe sell a few in the next year or so, just to kind of recoup everything that I put into this, because as any of you collectors know, this can become a pretty expensive hobby, and I don't want to make it about money or anything like that, but it would be nice to, like I said, recoup some of the assets that I put in. But a bunch of great signers, especially back in during this time. There weren't a ton of people invested in sending trading cards, so you could write to a lot of the drivers and they'd sign 4 or 5 for you at a time. A lot of them now have signing limits. Chase Elliott, I know, is a 2 per. Brad Keselowski is 2 per request, 2 per year, but sometimes he takes more than a year to get back, so his signing habits have definitely dropped. Kevin Harvick no longer signs through the mail. Joey Logano is a strict 1 per, and I wouldn't be surprised to see more and more drivers lowering the number of items that you can send. But I've definitely noticed that lower series drivers generally in their first few years are much better. This is the one Danica Patrick autograph that I have. I got that one in person. Really, really, really tough signature to get, especially at that time. She was pretty close to retiring. This is also the only Denny Hamlin autograph that I have. I mailed a whole bunch to him the first time. He sent them all back, but he only signed this one. And I've noticed that couple of the really tough signers are really good about selecting the worst card to sign. So these two cards, because they always think people are going to sell them, would probably fetch like the least amount of money because they're not like the best looking cards. Nobody wants this one unless you're collecting it for a set. So for set building purposes, it was great for me, but you know, if I was trying to make a profit off of any of this, would not have been very happy with it. But some great looking action shots of the drivers, and they got pretty creative with you know, all the different like sets within the set. So you got the dual action photos of the cars, sometimes of different cars. You got the Cup Chase, those who made it to the playoffs that year. The only thing that stinks is when the drivers are, you know, maybe not the best signers, or they have a limit and there's 4 or 5 cards per set of them. So like Martin Truex Jr., he tells people he's 1 per year. Some people have been able to get 2 at a time. Some people will be able to get him 2 or 3 times during the year. I've only been able to get him once per year each time. So adding him to the sets is way too slow. And then you got other drivers like Jamie McMurray, who only ever signed through the mail during the time that I was actively collecting once. So I only have a handful of cards of him. These retro cards are absolutely fantastic for autographs. They were just really hard to acquire, and certain cards pop up more often than others. So like I have like 4 or 5 of those Michael Waltrip ones. Had a couple of the Bobby Allisons. I just kept pulling the same person over and over, and never really, you know, got anyone new. So it wasn't until recently that I've been able to order some of the newer ones. This is another one that I'm looking to get replaced. I did order one finally that I could find that wasn't the numbered variation. I prefer just getting the standard base card signed. Then we have the 2018 set. This one had a really cool looking Race Kings version of the card. So really glad to have those. There weren't nearly as many rookie cards in this set, and you would pull one every single pack, it felt like. So nothing too valuable there for collectors as far as rookie cards go. But all of them are great signers. Spencer Gallagher's no longer racing, but I want to say he's still involved with GMS Racing, considering that it's his dad who runs it. So I'm sure you could still send there. But the rest of these guys have all been good signers. McMurray, again, one that I only got because I mailed to him and he only sent back once. Brad K in some gold. This is also one of the sets where they did the nickname variations and they made them way more common. I don't have any of the nickname variations signed in the previous set that are within the main base set. That's kind of confusing to explain. I'm not going to. But here you can see like Ryan Blaney, and then they have a secondary Ryan Blaney card. And they're supposed to be more rare, but they're really not, because like I said, you'd be pulling one about every pack. So kind of gave a little bit more variation. They also don't include nearly as many lower series drivers as I think they could, because they try to release this at the beginning of the season and the rosters aren't finalized and they have to have these cards printed. So they really kind of just go back to the same few drivers in the lower series. So like Reed Sorensen at the time, Elliott Sadler would be one. Michael Annett was a staple every year. Blake Cook raced for a short time, but I actually sent him a DM on Instagram and he gave me an address to write to. So I don't know where we would have to send to for him going forward. But a bunch of great signers. Few of these I got in person. I know I got a couple Daniel Hemrick and Tyler Reddick's signed in person when I saw them. So these make great cards for if you're going to a race and you just want to get a whole bunch of signatures. A lot of these drivers are super cool about signing whatever you bring. And, you know, you buy 1 or 2 boxes of these, especially the hobby boxes, and you'll have, you know, 3 or 4 of the same card that you can bring to a race. What's really cool, what they did towards the end of the set, both with this retro and the Legends, is that they included a lot of former drivers as part of the main set, and a lot of them are really good TTM signers, or they were back in the day. So, of course, you're going to include guys like Richard Petty, Rusty Wallace, Dale Jarrett. That's not even with the debate. But they also included guys like, I guess you could consider Ernie Irvan a legend for his story, but then like Kenny Wallace, there's going to be a lot of fans who remember him, but if you're a casual NASCAR fan, you might not know him as well, and his stats don't really kind of, link up with the rest of them. Same with, I think, Kerry Earnhardt, Derek Cope, like, again, good drivers who won maybe some big races in their career, but we wouldn't exactly consider them legends, but they're fantastic through the mail signers. So this, I don't know if that was done on purpose. For that reason, I kind of doubt it, but it definitely helped increase the desire for purchase, because you could get so many really good drivers from back in the day that are great signers. And this is what I'm talking about with the Legends cards. Again, you got your standard ones, Bill Elliott, Bobby Allison, the Labanis, Waltrip, Donnie Allison. I think he's been considered for the Hall of Fame. But like Herschel McGriff, most people wouldn't know who that is, but he is a legend and has been considered for the Hall of Fame as well. But most people wouldn't know who that is, and he's turned out to be a fantastic TTM signer. So that's just kind of my little conspiracy theory on it. I felt like the past few years, or at least for a short time there, from like 2017 to 2019, that Panini included a lot of cards of legends who weren't just legends of the game, but fantastic TTM signers, because they sure pulled me into buying those sets to send those off to get signed. Then we have, I think this is the 2019 set. I don't have a ton of it signed. There's actually a lot of cards that I'm going to be sending out this year. Start catching up on it. But again, kind of a unique Race Kings, format. Not my favorite design in the world, but, it works. They did retro rated rookies because they've been running out of rookies to include in the sets. But I love the base design of these ones. These ones turned out really, really nice, and they all look fantastic signed. So this one was definitely really, really fun to send out and work on. I've gotten quite a few of these drivers, and just whatever color they chose, like all the colors really, really pop. So, Austin Dillon with the silver, Matt Kenseth with the blue, Cole Custer with the black. It really didn't matter what they signed it with, unless you're using Ryan Newman's Dying Sharpie. They just turned out really, really awesome. I love how a lot of their, I'm sure it was intentional, but their driver suits matched up with the borders and everything. Just a fantastic looking set. I'm not as big of a fan of the retro cards that they included, but the images are so colorful and bright that they work good with signatures. So while I'm not a huge fan of it, it works for me. Plus, it's kind of got that, 94 finish line racing, if you saw the previous video, with the starting at the lower left, moving up to the lower right in an upward diagonal fashion, which was pretty common for cards of that era. And now to see it, coming back with these retro cards is really cool. And then they include a few legend cards. And again, like Wally Dollenbach, probably not super well known in NASCAR lore, but he's a great TTM signer. So, but the rest of these guys are all legends. Then we have the Optic Cards. These are kind of photo variations, some of them are, of the base card. And there's only 100 of these per set. These look fantastic signed. You do have to prep them well, but if they use a good Sharpie on it, it looks fantastic. The regular Optic cards only go up to 90, and then there's 10 cards of the Illusion. I'm pretty sure that those are supposed to be the last 10, but they aren't counted in the 100 for that. So this only goes up to 90. This goes to 10. Put those together, you get 100 cards. Then we got the 2020 set. This is one that I remember it was really difficult to get the whole set by purchasing boxes. They started making a lot of the base cards a lot harder to get. You would get so many variations and different colors and the subsets that you'd have to buy a lot more in order to get a full set. So I did find that to be a little bit annoying. Even though the cards look great, I like to get the base set just for autograph collecting. But they're not worried about people like me. Still, got quite a few of them. It's another nice looking set. I don't have any complaints against it. The cards look great signed, and there's a lot of newer names in this that weren't in previous sets. Morgan Shepherd being one of them. They started including a lot more of the Xfinity Series guys and even Truck Series, so like Zane Smith, Brett Moffitt, Jeremy Clements, who you maybe didn't see in years past. I always like it when they include the lower series drivers because they are generally much better signers. Again, not a super big fan of the retro set that they had here. I know that they're going with old DonRuss sets, so it's to be expected. But the colors just don't pop nearly as much. On some cards they do, but not on all of them. And then Optic set, got an awesome rated rookie of Haley Deegan. She is no longer signing items that are mailed to her as of February 1st. So they will not accept any items that you send her way. But if you send a hero card request, they will send you back a signed hero card depending on, while supplies last. Then we have the 2021 set. I don't know if the 2022 sets come out yet, but this is most likely the most recent. They started getting back to kind of a cooler Race Kings design. I want to get more cards of this autographed. They went back to the rated rookie and actually included some of the lower series drivers. For whatever reason, Alex LeBay signed the back of my cards. Actually, a few drivers did that. I don't understand why. I just prefer that they sign the front. But another nice looking set. Kind of reminds me a bit of the 2017 set with the white border. It's pretty similar to that one. But again, a lot of great names in here that are good signers. And this the retro set, kind of nice. It's better than a couple of the previous years, and they look great signed as well. Another one, Joey Gase signed the back of that one. LeBay signed the back of this rated rookie Optic, and those are the last few that I have for it. I haven't been too focused on NASCAR over the past couple years. I've been trying to branch out my collection more, but I definitely want to get some more of these cards signed and caught up on the sets. But let me know what you guys, considered your favorite ones. If you guys have any questions on maybe who's still signing or whatnot, just drop it below. Hopefully give you guys some ideas on who to write to. But excited for the NASCAR season. I can't wait for it to start up. I'm curious to see how the new cars look and handle on the track. So that'll be exciting to look forward to. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Helps me out a lot. Best luck with your guys' collecting. Take care.